And he never drank, my dad. He definitely didn't do any drugs. He probably fucked some women before my mom. I think my mom was a virgin when she got married at 36, right? So she was like, she bought into all that. But I feel like my dad was more of a knucklehead at some point in his life, and he never really offered me that at a time when I could have used that.
The connections between fathers and sons is one of hero worship, confusion, and contradiction. Eddie Alfano grew up in Deer Park, Long Island, in a traditional Italian-American family. His parents instilled a conventional foundation that would form and frustrate Eddie as he grew up. But sometimes the prodigal son doesn't return.
I had a great upbringing, I would say. Like I had two loving parents. My dad was a little hard around the edges. My mom was like a typical overbearing Italian mother. She was scared of the world, very loving, but suffocating.
Eddie attended Fordham University, where he double majored in accounting and finance. His first job out of college was at Ernst & Young.
I lasted 9 months, and I probably worked about 2 of those months. I did everything the right way my whole life. I remember being like 6 or 7 years old, and I wanted to be a banker. I was such a goody two-shoes in high school, because I was so worried about fucking up. I was okay with not being like the cool kid. I didn't drink, I focused on school. I was always worried about the future. I'm gonna get a good job. I'm gonna go from working class to I'm gonna put a suit on every day. I busted my ass so that dream could manifest. And it let me down so badly. My reaction was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go the other way.
The other way indeed. Eddie moved to California and took up a career a tad bit left of center.
I was working at a gym, and then through the gym, I met a photographer, asked me if I would ever thought about stripping. I'm working out, and I spend so much time on my body. If there was a way to get paid for doing that, I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Parties all over Southern California, bachelorette, birthday, divorce parties. What you do is you just drive in your sweats, you have your bag that has your thong, your cop uniform, $1 bills in case the girls don't have change, and your boombox. And then you'd play these various hide the dollar games where okay, hide dollars on the girls and I'll take them out with my mouth. And then you'd reverse it where now you hide dollars on my thong and the girls take it out with their mouth. It's not like women stripping for men. It's you're a party clown. They get strippers for different reasons than men get strippers. It's more about the good time. Girls' night out, we want to act crazy, more rambunctious than anything. It wasn't so much that they were getting turned on sexually, it was that they were getting to let loose and behave in a way that women don't get to behave in public very often. Slapping my ass, dumping bottles of tequila on me. I'm grinding on girls and dancing on top of them, picking them up, throwing them on the ground, teabagging them, right? You're doing all these sexual in nature activities, but it's done for the laughs.
A year into stripping, Eddie called home to ask his father for guidance.
My dad never really talked on the phone. So the only time he got on the phone was on Father's Day, so I could wish him a happy Father's Day. And I was like, because this whole time I was doing this, I was struggling with what am I doing with my life, right? I left the accounting firm and I had no direction now. And now a year had gone by and it was like, what am I doing with my life? And, I kind of was trying to reach out to my dad, I guess, was the reason why I said it, to see if maybe he went through this struggle in life of not knowing what you want to do with yourself. And I remember I was he said something, it was how's the personal training going? I think I told him that I was training people, right? And I was like, Dad, I'm not personal training. I've been working as a stripper. And I remember the line just went quiet for 10 seconds. And then he's like, I think you should come home.
Eddie didn't come home. He continued to strip for 6 more years.
Before I tell you about that though, just because this is what everyone wants to like hear about stripping, but like what they don't want to hear is the reality, which is like, it's awkward as fuck trying to get sexual at a bachelorette party. Number one, you might have 5 parties to do that night, right? So it's like, if it's 7 o'clock and you're in East LA and then you got to get to Simi Valley for your second party, you don't have time to be getting blown in the bathroom. I'm like racing, speeding, weaving in and out of traffic just to get to the next one, calling, hey, I'm running late. And then you're late for party number 2, which means you're late for party number 3, number 4, number 5. Picture being in someone's living room, 20 women, we're doing the party, right? And then I go to the bathroom to like get changed back into my street clothes, and then there's a knock on the door. You open the door, right? And then the girl comes in and it's like, what now, right? It's not as like you're a person, right? Now you're not the stripper, right, with the lights out and the strobe light on. Now we're just 2 people in a bathroom. Now, that being said, sometimes that turned into a sexual situation, right? And then I'd fucking walk out of the bathroom and Grandma and Aunt Louise would be like looking at me like I was an awful person. I got blown in a child's bedroom once. I'm doing a private dance in the bedroom, and then next thing you know, you're getting blown, and I'm like looking at like toys on the wall.
Never a dull day at the office. Sometimes parties got embarrassing.
I danced for his wife.
Uncomfortable.
The husband was like getting into an argument with his wife.
And downright scary.
Come back and fucking crack a bottle over my head.
In 2007, after over 1,000 parties, Eddie called it quits. The days of stripping are long gone for Eddie. He's married and lives with an energetic mixed-breed dog named Ruthie. But understanding his father, that he still wrestles with.
Whatever we say about ourselves, like we have some weird connection to our father, right? Even if we don't agree with anything, we want to connect. We want to connect with our dad because he's the person most like us. Right? Like we, at some point you start to realize like, oh fuck, we are like the same person, right? Even though we think differently. And so it's like, this is this human that's probably closest to you and we can't even connect on anything, right? So it always bothered me. Like my dad he was incapable of being my friend. He only knew being my dad. And then when I didn't need him to be my dad, he still couldn't change. He just, you know what I mean? Like I needed him to be my dad when I was 14 and being an idiot, right? But then I'm 30, like I don't just like, and he would never like, even like in that moment, right? Like he couldn't talk about it. He just couldn't talk about it in any sort of way. And it bothers you,